Hi, my name is Juanita Delgadillo, and this is a presentation for CIS 512 Australia University Professor Alexander Peter. I will be discussing the John Zachman framework, which he created in 1984. He created this matrix to explain an enterprise in detail, which answers what, how, where, who, when, and why from each of these perspectives: the scope, business model, system model, technology model, detailed representation, and functioning enterprise. I'm going to go into detail of each of those perspectives and basically just explain the reason why I believe the Zachman framework is important for an architecture, for a business architecture. I want to start off with the first phase, which is the scope. The scope is also known as the planner view. In this phase, where the original step and the diagrams are created, you can also basically get the estimated amount of how much the project might cost, the measurements and the requirements that can be determined in the beginning of the project. So basically at this step, the planner has to implement all of this data that he has in order to get this information. The second phase is the business model. The business model is at the owner level, which is also known the owner level. The owner actually implements his daily tasks that he will be doing throughout this whole entire business to function properly. And at this level, he implements what he will be doing and his requirements that he will be needing in order to complete his daily tasks. So he basically adds on the requirements that are needed for that in order to assist him. The third level would be the system model level. And this is also known as the designer phase. The designer actually takes all of the input from the scope and the business level, and he recreates a new architecture plan, a new architecture drawing to implement his view as well as the first two views. So basically at this level, he is implementing his ideas and requirements that are needed in order to basically run the business and adding it to the first two views, and he needs to add everything together to work effortlessly. So once that is done, we move on to the next phase, which is the technology model phase. And at this level, the builder actually has to pick and choose the necessary technology in order to carry out all of these business functions and the requirements that are needed. So the technology phase is basically when all of the equipment is brought into it and added to the project. The next step is the detailed representation, which is the subcontractor phase. Basically, this is where the jobs are assigned and the owner has the opportunity to contract out jobs or keep it in-house and hire some personnel. But basically, this is where all the software will come in and the employees will be needed in order to work with the software in order to carry out the business functions. The last phase would actually be the functioning enterprise phase. Now that phase is basically the whole finished project, the carried out project. So once everything is done and everything is functioning properly and working well together, that is also known as the last phase, which is the functioning enterprise phase. Basically, I believe that this is a very essential tool for all businesses, because this enterprise architecture here can actually help the builder, the planner, the designer, and basically the owner and everybody that's included in this project in order to ensure that they have all of their requirements that are needed and they don't forget anything, and make sure that everything that they do build on this project is actually essential to fulfill the requirements. So basically everything is created for the whole major purpose. Basically, if someone actually were to implement this, if I were to create a business now, I'd use this, and I believe I'd be very successful with the outcome because of this. That is the John Zachman framework, and that is my views and my explanation of the John Zachman framework. Thank you.